presidential administrative officer has accused Saenuri Party chairman Moo-sung of masterminding the presidential memo leak incident. The number of South Korean workers grew by the largest rate in 12 years in 2014, yet the unemployment rate among young people hit a record high. And the Korean film Ode to My Father has generated a surge of tourists to a village on South Korea's southern coast. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Thursday, January 15th. I'm Luke Clary. Trouble is brewing in the ruling party as a presidential administrative officer accused Saenuri Party chairman Moo-sung of masterminding the presidential memo leak incident. The officer who made the remark has tendered his resignation.
A photo taken at the National Assembly shows Saenuri Party chairman Moo-sung looking at a memo in his notebook that read the masterminds behind the memo leak are K and Y. After the photo was reported, Kim, evidently displeased, dismissed the accusation as preposterous.
그런 음해를 당하는 것도 사실 참 기가 막히는데 의도적으로 그것을 사진에 찍히기 위해서 그렇게 했다. 이렇게 또 누명을 씌우는 것도 저 참 기가 막힙니다.
In fact, Kim made a phone call to Cheong Wa Dae to demand a probe into how the allegation came about. The Saenuri Party chief said that he wrote down what he had heard from former Party Reform Committee Lee Jun-seok. Lee claimed that Administrative Officer Eum Jong-hwan in the Presidential Publicity Office referred the two as the masterminds at a drinking party late last month. But the administrative officer argued that what he had meant to say was former Presidential Secretary for Civil Service Discipline Cho Eung-cheon was the de facto organizer and that Cho had approached the two in order to run for office in Daegu. Administrative Officer tendered his resignation as the controversy grew out of control, but the incident revealed how wide apart Cheong Wa Dae and the ruling party heads stand.
Last year, South Korea saw the number of employees grow by the largest rate in 12 years. Yet, the unemployment rate among young people hit a record high.
One of the baristas at this coffee shop is a 62-year-old woman. She used to be a full-time stay-at-home housewife and mother, but she found employment after obtaining a barista's license 2 years ago.
100세 시대니까는 여기 나올 수 있다는 게 아침에 눈을 뜨면 내가 어디를 갈 곳이 있다는 그 자체가 너무나도 행복해요.
With an increased number of older people actively seeking employment, the number of employed workers neared 25.6 million last year. That figure is up approximately 530,000 from a year ago, and the largest growth in 12 years since 2002.
임금 근로자 중에 생년 근로자 증가폭이 계속 확대돼서 전체 취업자 중에 차지하는 비중은 47.5%로 계속 확대되는 추세를 이렇게 나타내고 있습니다.
At the same time, however, the number of unemployed jumped to 930,000, and the unemployment rate rose to 3.5%, as more people in their 20s and 50s resumed their job hunting. In particular, the youth unemployment rate among people aged between 15 and 29 hit a record high of 9%, suggesting that the job market remains tight for young workers. 1 out of 5 young people who landed jobs last year was a temporary worker with a contract of a year or less, meaning that many young people begin their careers as non-regular workers.
With cigarette prices nearly doubling at the start of the new year, consumers wonder how much of that price raise is going toward taxes. Well, here's more about how much tax you're paying when you purchase cigarettes, gasoline, and alcohol, the 3 products with the highest tax rates.
What is the breakdown of a pack of cigarettes that costs $4.15? The manufacturing cost, including a distribution margin, is $1.09, while the rest is all tax. The tax accounts for 73.7% of the cigarette price. That's a 12 percentage point jump from before the price hike. Here's a look at the gasoline tax. As of January 1st, the standard price of a liter of gas was $1.46, 57.7% of which is tax. That's an increase of 7 percentage points when compared to last year. the gasoline tax is fixed, levied regardless of the oil price. That's why the consumer gas price fell only 16% when international oil prices plummeted by half recently. Similarly, the liquor tax is set higher than the manufacturing cost. Even worse, rumors began circulating about a possible tax hike. The factory price of a bottle of soju is 87 cents, and 53% of it, or 46 cents, is tax. The liquor tax rate is the same for beer as well.
술, 담배, 휘발유에 대해서 세금을 올리게 되면은 서민이나 저소득층의 세 부담이 늘어나고 그것이 빈부격차로 악화되고 소득 불평등들을 악화시킵니다.
Indirect taxes like the cigarette tax represent about half of product prices, higher than the indirect tax rates in other advanced nations.
Korean actor and singer Lee Jun-seok has found himself engulfed in allegations of tax evasion. The star's agency says he did nothing wrong.
A news outlet reported Wednesday that actor Lee Jun-seok was slapped with a charge of approximately $9.2 million in additional taxes. The report said that Chang was found by the National Tax Service to have failed to report a considerable portion of the income he earned overseas. If the report is true, the amount of the unreported income is presumed to be as much as tens of millions of dollars. In response, Chang's agency explained that the company, not the actor, was investigated by the National Tax Service last year.
조사 받으신 적은 한 번도 없습니다.
없습니다. 세무조사를 받은 적은 있어요. 회사의 세무조사를 받은 적은 있어요.
The agency said that accounting errors had been found regarding income earned overseas, but that the errors had been corrected and the unpaid taxes accounted for. The company added that there was no investigation made by prosecutors because the mistakes were unintentional. It also stressed that Chang has been a good taxpayer and that the company is to blame for the tax-related errors. Chang is the sole entertainer affiliated with the agency, which is headed by one of his family members.
Passion runs high at the Marine Corps camp, even in the middle of the freezing winter. Students and families participating in the 5-day Marine Corps training camp can experience the life of a Marine.
With a loud yell cutting through the harsh cold, these people jump into the freezing sea. They brave the rough waves to row the rubber boat forward. Carrying a 120-kilogram boat becomes quite manageable when everyone pitches in.
정신 차립니다, 정신.
Guerrilla training, which is similar to real warfare, is tough and demanding, but it definitely helps boost patience and confidence.
막내이기 전에 남자인 그런 면모를 보여줬으면 좋겠습니다. 그런 거를 키워주기 위해서 여기 해본 캠프에 참석했습니다. 아버지와 아들이 힘을 내서 어려운 일을 이겨낸다라고 생각합니다.
Girls and boys in middle school, as well as families, take part in the 5-day camp to experience the life of a Marine and boost their spirit of taking on challenges.
국가의 소중함을 깨닫고 자신의 한계를 경험하며 성숙한 국민으로 성장하기를 기대합니다.
The Marine Corps Winter Camp has been a popular program, attested by the roughly 33,000 people who took part in the training camp over the past 19 years.
The Korean film Ode to My Father has generated an unexpected result, a surge in tourists to a village on South Korea's southern coast. Here's how the mega-hit movie brought the village into the spotlight.
Korean movie Ode to My Father is this year's first blockbuster, attracting more than 10 million moviegoers. The movie is set in an era when the nation was struggling with poverty. The main characters, Deok-soo and Young-ja, hope for better days, working abroad as a miner and nurse, respectively, in Germany. Some 40 years have passed since then. This is a village in Namhae, South Gyeongsang Province, where migrant workers settled down after returning from Germany. The village testifies to the tough lives South Korean miners and nurses experienced abroad. Following the release of the movie, some 400 people visit the village on weekdays, more than double the number before.
나라가 어려워서 어쩔 수 없다는 느낌도 들고 좀 뭔가 고맙다는 느낌이 많이 들죠.
The elderly former miners and nurses greet and guide the visitors throughout the village. They want to share their past filled with sweat and tears with the younger generations of Koreans.
어렵게 살았다는 거, 이런 거 이제 얘기를 하면 그 슬픔도 함께 느끼고 눈물도 흘리신 분도 많이 계세요.
With the movie's popularity, the southern coastal village has newly been brought into the spotlight.
Souvenirs sold at performance and exhibition halls are in high demand, sometimes outperforming ticket sales. Here's more.
This musical is about Dr. Jekyll being transformed into Mr. Hyde. At the entrance of the performance hall, spectators can buy all kinds of products modeled after the main character's lab instruments. They include air humidifiers, cups, and accessories used by the cast.
뮤지컬을 더 오래 기억에 남고요. 그리고 이곳에서만 살 수 있기 때문에 방문하면 꼭 한번 들려가지고 사게 돼요.
This performance hall has even set up a special section where visitors can buy a vast array of souvenirs and products related to the performances staged at the hall.
프로그램북이나 OST 정도의 아주 단순한 기념품만 있었다면 최근에 한 2-3년 사이에는 실생활에도 쓸 수 있는 다양한 상품 구성이 되면서 매출이 확연히 증가.
Exhibition halls, for their part, offer souvenirs like mobile phone accessories and others imprinted with the images of art pieces. Their prices range from $1 to over $100. Sometimes their sales even surpass ticket sales. One-of-a-kind souvenirs that tug on spectators' heartstrings continue to enjoy popularity.
Singer Eum Jong-hwan, who was all the rage in the 1980s and 90s, is set to release a new album for the first time in 13 years. Here's more from the world of show business.
Singer Eum Jong-hwan, known for his numerous hits such as Gwanghamun Love Song and Old Love, will release a new album this spring. It's his first new album to be released since his 14th production in 2002. Sources say the singer is busy recording. Eum Jong-hwan continues to enjoy popularity to this day, drawing tens of thousands of fans to each of his concerts. The Korean musical Frankenstein, which was released last year, will be exported to Japan. The musical's production company, Chungmu Art Hall, announced that it would soon sign a license contract to receive royalties from a Japanese company. Frankenstein is an original musical that cost around $3.7 million to produce and that brought in over $920,000 in profits. Opera singer Im Hyung-ju has released his rendition of the song Always There from the Irish-Norwegian duo Secret Garden. Released in 2005, Always There was a huge hit in Europe. It's been reborn after 10 years through Im Hyung-ju's vocals. The Korean version has been released with a translation of the original title.
Most dieters determined to shed a few kilos have probably tried starving themselves. Severe cutbacks in caloric intake or short-term fasting have long been a tempting option for those looking to lose weight quickly. Well, we find out more about the effectiveness of fasting to lose weight.
There are many ways to slim down for one's health. In many cases, people exercise or cut back their food intake by crash dieting or fasting. Is fasting an effective means to improve one's health as well as lose weight?
단식하면 몸속 인슐린 수치가 낮아지기 시작하는데요. 이때 몸에서는 포도당 대신 지방을 분해하여 몸속 지방산 농도를 높여 다이어트 효과를 볼 수 있습니다.
Not long ago, a diet method called intermittent fasting created a sensation in Korea. The IF diet involved at least a 16-hour fast after eating as much as you want. What are the results of this diet? People who were on the 5-2 intermittent fasting diet, which refers to 2 days of eating just dinner and 5 days of normal dining, lost 3 kilograms and showed lower cholesterol and neutral lipid levels. However, their blood pressure, which had been within normal range, rose.
음식을 섭취하는 것이 불규칙할 경우에 교감신경이라는 것이 활성화되면서 혈관은 수축되고 또 코티솔이라고 하는 스트레스 호르몬의 분비가 높아지기 때문입니다.
Therefore, people with high blood pressure, diabetes, or cardiovascular diseases should stay away from fasting. The biggest problem for dieters is the yo-yo phenomenon. Those who gain back all the weight they lost and more blame binge eating, often a result of excessive fasting.
한 끼 두 끼를 건너뛰고 참게 되면 그 다음에 먹는 음식은 우리 몸이 본능적으로 지방으로 갖다 붙이려는 경향을 보이게 되고 과식이나 폭식으로 이어질 가능성이 아주 높습니다.
If you want to try fasting for yourself, what should you know? Start cutting back on your food intake 2 or 3 days prior to the start of the fast. Send a sign to your stomach that fasting is about to start by eating porridge or thin rice gruel on the eve of the fast. Also, light exercise is a must even while fasting. However, in order to supplement essential nutrients like sodium and vitamins, consume 2 grams of salt every day and drink water with lemon juice or persimmon leaf tea. Remember that a fast should not last longer than 5 days, even for a person in good physical condition. You may be tempted to try fasting, and if you do, make sure to take precautions for your health.
Now let's take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.